for us?
Right. I think first and foremost, America have decided who they want to actually lead them, and Trump has become the 47th president of America. And in terms of global community, though American presidents seem to be global presidents, however, relationship will still continue, be it Kamala Harris or be it Donald Trump. Depends on our disposition as well. You recall even during the Tucano, what have you, he was the one who actually engineered. So a lot of things will happen. Depends on our disposition, on our position, and that's why as Africa and as Nigeria, we must try to position ourselves whereby we will not be susceptible to global decision or American decision. We have other trading partners that we can trade with, but we must manage our relationship with Donald Trump. But going forward, I don't see it being a challenge. It's going to come and go as other presidents has come and go.
You're sounding like you're not in support of the new administration, but that's just by the way. Well, but talking about Nigeria positioning itself for opportunities, whether in country or out of the country, fiscal policy is key. And talking about assessment of this fiscal policy, is Nigeria effectively balancing revenue generation vis-a-vis spending needs? What's your take on that, following what's been on the ground, what you've observed from the reforms that are ongoing now?
Right, I think it's a quick win for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because if you recall, immediately he became president, started getting the revenue. What we used to use our money to do, which is our first subsidy, was able to actually remove it. And you could also see throughout the Fourth Republic, I think he's enjoying more revenue compared to others, though it comes with its own challenges. But the thing is, it's macroeconomy, so it depends on how you actually do your spending now that will make sure you get that development, as it were. But one thing we must notice is that the dollar-naira relationship has actually eroded most of the gain that we should have benefited directly from that. However, we've seen a lot of intervention projects from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have also seen his body language towards the governors on where they should channel money to. We have also seen that the fiscal FAC allocation has also benefited the governors. But it's not what only the federal government can determine. Federal government could have a focus if the state governments are not looking at the same direction. It's a problem, and that's why we always clamor for a national focus, like what we have during Obasanjo, where we call NEED, state seed, local government lead. So we must have that robust economic plan that everybody can key into. But in general speaking, I think he has gotten more revenue and is channeling those revenue to where he thinks it will benefit Nigeria. But have we seen the results? That is the challenge we are facing. We have not seen the results.
Okay. Talking about the challenge of results, yes, you've alluded to the fact that fuel subsidy removal is a blessing to Nigerians at this time, in spite of the challenges. Yes, the big elephant in the room still remains inflation. Now, we've been seeing from the monetary side and the fiscal side, government trying to ensure that this elephant is taken out of this room so that businesses can grow. How sustainable is all of this in terms of the impact, the positive impact, not just putting to the side the negative impact, though, like you said, these are macroeconomic decisions. Should we expect immediate gains, or is it long-term gains?
Right. I think the Nigerian problem is much more of a legacy problem, which we actually have seen ourselves. In as much as we removed first subsidy, we went ahead to actually float the naira, and floating of the naira has eroded a lot of gain, because we have serious forex issue. And until you solve the problem of forex, I don't think we can go very well in our economy. Then let's come to inflation. If you look at most things that are causing inflation, what we actually know, which is energy problem, you could see that over time we've seen different increments in cost of fuel, and I'm not sure it will stop by now. And the alternative that we actually are also looking at, which is the CNG, we are seeing it, most of us have engaged in it, but the accessibility and availability is also a problem. So I think government need to do more. Then coming back to CBN, I think CBN is applying what we call hawkish approach, and when you apply hawkish approach, it has its own negative impact too. And what is the impact? The negative is that you are now sacrificing growth to make sure that you reduce inflation. But I think that may not be a good one. And I want to advise that in the next MPC meeting, they must either tarry. They don't need to actually increase the MPR, because it's actually affecting employment, affecting manufacturing, and affecting small-scale businesses. So this is the area. If not, all the gain we have actually achieved is being eroded by this area as well.
Are you alluding to the fact that inflation is taking all of those gains?
Right. It's a clear thing that once there's inflation, most economic policy, most development, most growth will be affected negatively. So we must make sure that we reduce that inflation. And if you recall, we have 2 months that inflation actually reduced. It's a factor that maybe because of the farm producers at that period, but we must also tame the major problem, which is the energy problem, and also the issue of sacrificing growth because you want to reduce inflation.
Are you sure we're selling growth? Right. That's not for you to answer. It's just a pose right. at this point. You also agree with me that the government is doing a whole lot in that, like talking about fiscal reforms now. That's that main source, that main base for government in generating revenues to execute government. There's been lots of recommendations from the Highway Daily Committee. We've seen some of the National Assembly though is raising some misconceptions and some misunderstandings in some quarters, some revenue agencies thinking, okay, with the reform going, particularly with the form that the FRS is taken, some responsibilities were taken off some people. But that, by the way, with what the government is doing to raise revenue for government, don't you see that production is going to be increased in the shortest possible time? Are there possibilities for that?
Right. I think it's a good thing that we're referring our tax at this time, because I think it was 1993 or so that we have really made tamper with our tax. I think it's a very good thing, and Tao Idele and his team is doing well. But